Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the first ever edition of the V Spot, our new podcast as part of our vegan Prism brand. My name is Robert, and
I'm Roberta.
together we are gonna have this new project which we are setting up to basically discuss everything that's vegan and even
not.
beyond, you know?
Yes, and beyond, definitely. We're not going to do only, we're not going to speak just veganism, about veganism, definitely not. Why should we?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And the aim of getting on the V Spot is to just relax and unwind, and let go.
Yes, because our lives are so hectic and so stressful. So this is going to be just something which hopefully will suit your day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for those who don't know us, my name is Robert, and I'm a psychology student and a life coach. And basically, I have been vegan for the past 7 years now.
Okay.
And you're Roberta.
Well, I'm Roberta, and I'm a holistic nutritionist, and I've been vegan for most of my life. It's been like 25 years.
She doesn't look it, huh?
Yes. And so we are going to just going to mention the topic of our first podcast,
Yes,
just to get started. And when Robert asked me, what should we talk about our first podcast, and I was like, dating.
Yeah.
Let's get dating, kinking dating.
Yes.
And and vegan and non-vegan dating, So tell me about why did you transition to vegan, first of all?
Well, for those who are joining us from all over the world, this is we're in Malta, the middle of the Mediterranean. It's a tiny speck in the EU. I've had quite a normal childhood, let's say that, when it comes to Malta. Grew up with the festas and
Lovely.
a lot of carbs and a lot of meats and dairies.
Yes, about the carbs, let me stop you there. Because I always remember one thing. When I met him, I discovered carbs with carbs.
Oh, yeah.
Because my family isn't vegan, but we always had really healthy meals, salads, vegetables, potatoes, and we never mixed carb with carbs. I don't know why, but my mother was always like very into, healthy eating, so I think she made that on purpose for sure. So for me, like timpana was like, what?
Yeah, I mean, for those who don't know, timpana is, a specialty of us here in the Mediterranean. Basically, it's a pie with penne pasta in the middle.
Yeah.
And obviously, whatever sauce you choose. Traditionally, it's like similar to the bolognese sauce.
Basically, it's wheat and wheat and wheat.
Yeah, it's wheatception, it's amazing. If you know how to make the sauce, especially, it's amazing stuff.
No, I've done this for people, and I know it's good, but it was like, mind-blowing, getting to know you and getting to know the carbs with
Who
carbs.
knew carbs can lay with other carbs?
Who knew? I didn't know that.
Yeah, but basically, you asked me why I transitioned.
Yes,
and
yes.
As I was saying, I've had a very normal childhood for our country. But then I think I was 18-ish.
18,
19-ish.
Very young.
I stumbled upon a documentary which highlighted the miserable
cruelty.
lives that dairy animals go through, And I'm a very conscientious person, and empathy comes very easy to me. So I made the connection, and I couldn't unsee what I saw.
Yes.
That helped me transition. That kickstarted transition to vegetarianism. I'm a transitioner, And I remember saying those famous words, "Oh, veganism is
It's
extreme."
extreme.
But then, about 4 or 5 years later, I stumbled on another documentary, and it
What
showed
was the name? Can you remember?
if slaughterhouses had glass walls, everybody
Okay,
would be.
Paul McCartney.
Yeah, from
Then,
Paul
yes,
McCartney.
yes.
And I also realized that going vegetarian is not enough to help the animals, not even close.
It isn't. It isn't.
You know,
It's a great step.
If anything, I mean, those poor cows that are in the dairy industry suffer more to an
Yes.
extent because it's perpetuated on and on until they all end
But
up in
let
the
us
same
say
place.
that it's a great first step.
It's
Definitely.
a definite great first step, and I would recommend anyone who. It's like quitting cigarettes. Most people do it slowly, transitionally, and they couldn't do it otherwise. And then you have those few people who do it overnight. Well done, more power to
Yes,
them.
I did that
Just
actually.
like this one
I
over
remember
here.
the date. It was between the night between the 31st December 1996 to the 1st January of 1997.
All right, I didn't
Because
know
it was
that.
like from the first day of 1997, I'm not going to eat meat. Back then, the word vegan, I mean, I'm sure it existed, I guess.
It's been around since the 50s.
All right, so it
The
exists.
word.
But I never found it in books.
No,
you know?
no.
And we didn't have the internet back then.
We
you
had
know?
Encarta. Remember Encarta? Anyone for the younger viewers? What's Encarta?
Yes, I remember it, and there wasn't vegan on it.
Yeah. The word existed since the 50s, but it wasn't very much used.
So my mother was like, "Oh, she's going vegetarian. She's not growing up, you know," and she was getting crazy, going to the doctors. But anyway, and I stopped meat and fish, and the dairy came second close because I remember, like, I was always very petite, but I had this huge belly, and it wasn't normal. It wasn't fat, and I made some maths, and realized it was the dairy products. And once I avoided all the dairy products, I became normal,
Yes.
like the normal petite standard girl, and yes, it was overnight, and back then it was like really strange going to the supermarkets because everywhere.
By the way, supermarkets back then for us were literally a big garage.
Yes, it's
where
true.
you had a few more things than the rest, and they were called supermarkets. So yeah, that's.
And I remember at the age of 13 or 14, whatever, going to mini markets and trying to find anything which doesn't come from animals.
Yeah.
It was a mission, you know, going on a mission. And I remember finding some soy milk and some yogurts. The yogurt brand definitely failed. I know they closed doors. It was like cardboard, right?
Lovely.
Like tasting of cardboard. I remember once, okay, eating the yogurt, and I said, "That's cardboard," and taking some cardboard and licked it to see what's the difference. There was no difference. And the soya milk was, yes, horrible too,
Yes,
unfortunately.
yes.
But anyways, we have improved a lot, and we have improved even in dating.
Yes. I mean,
For me, for sure.
well, Ara, with thank you, by the way, for
Yes,
me as well.
welcome.
Even though it's for me, it's something new.
You were very lucky though.
I'm always very lucky.
Yes, you are.
I am a very, very lucky guy. And it's weird when it comes to the dating scene, you know? First of all, I have to prefix this is that just because someone's vegan doesn't mean they're gonna be an amazing partner, doesn't mean they're not, beyond human. I mean, but the thing is, since to be vegan you need to have you have an element of compassion and empathy
Values.
and values, you know.
Yes.
So the likelihood of meeting someone who's awesome, who'll respect you, who'll be compassionate and empathic with you is much more.
Yes, yes.
um
And may I say, when I say, obviously, my opinion, I'm gonna share my opinion, of course. Definitely, it's best to date a vegan, all right? But it's down to, because I had very, very much horrible experiences regards that aspect. Even though I had very, very long relationships, they weren't supportive at all. Hi, if you're watching. And so it was a struggle to, be there, not struggle with my beliefs. I knew I wanted that choice, and I knew it was long term.
yes
Okay. So obviously it wasn't simple, listening to the people like talking behind your back that you're the black sheep and that you're not normal because you're not eating their fankata or their mayalata.
So for translation, fankata is rabbit stew, mayalata is pig stew, basically.
Well, it's I don't know.
Worse,
Let's not
actually,
think about
yes.
it. But yes, I was very, very much judged, but I was very used to it. But I know like vegan and non-vegans who are dating or are in a relationship and they respect each other, and that's fine. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, it boils down to respect, you
Yes.
know? And these things, when you become an individual, and you assert your individuality within the family unit, such cracks tend to exacerbate. So when you said talking behind your back, I experienced that when I was transitioning a lot. I was lucky that I had the support of my partners as we did the same that back then at the same time. But the talking behind your back shows an element of disrespect, because at the end of the day, if, for example, I'm supporting, I don't know, this football team, and then I decide to support the other, if they respect you, they'll be like, okay, good luck, hope you enjoy it, you know? But if I choose to be compassionate and not to
I
contribute
don't
to the
think
suffering.
they see that. I don't think they realize that aspect.
Okay.
Because we choose that, we choose our food, we choose our clothing,
Yes.
cosmetics, whatever, because we are very empathic to the animals, and not
Yes.
only to the animals at the end of the day, because veganism branches even to humanity.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
This distinction between humans and animals needs to
No, we
break.
don't
I mean,
do it.
humans are a part of nature.
Yes.
You know?
So eventually, obviously, if you're meeting at a family gathering, okay, and you're a vegan, it's okay. I mean, it's no big deal to offer some vegan option.
Yes.
It's so easy. I think, okay, people freak out when you say you're vegan. I remember the families I used to be at, obviously, they only offered, because they lacked knowledge, of course, so I am not judging them for
Yes.
sure. And maybe they lacked the interest to Google it, you
Yes.
know, to Google a vegan recipe, but they offered like tomatoes and lettuce.
Yes.
No carrot. So it was very poor. And obviously, when someone sees another person eating like that poor salad, it comes, I mean, natural to bully her or bully him.
Yes, and the salad, I mean, this is something here in Malta, because I cannot speak for abroad because I haven't lived there, but when it comes to Malta, whenever you're a non-vegan and you encounter the word salad,
It's just a
probably
side
in
thing.
a kiosk, in a festa, where everybody's munching on burgers, and you either have burger with chips or burger with salad. And burger with salad practically means burger with lettuce and tomatoes. And this, believe it or not, is the same thing when it comes to restaurants. At least now they have improved the last couple of years.
Definitely.
But back then, having a side salad literally meant having a small bowl on the side with lettuce, iceberg lettuce, mind you, not the long leaf ones, and some tomatoes, and if you're lucky, cherry tomatoes.
Okay.
But yeah, so when people think is like, what are you gonna eat? I can have salads. What, you're gonna live on lettuce and tomatoes for the rest of your life? It's like there's also this element of, so firstly that having
A lack of knowledge
the lack of
about
knowledge, but also
plant-based food.
yes, and also the element of I think when it comes to families, there's a big element that individuality scares them.
Yeah.
You know,
The tribal mentality.
yes, yes, yes. And the fact that you're asserting yourself as an individual, then I think only then you will start seeing really your family's values. Like, do they appreciate you as an individual or not? And that can be scary even for people, because telling people or deciding to go vegan is not like, oh, I'm gonna buy a black car instead of a red car.
Not at all.
It's, if I can't have turkey, or let me rephrase that properly, if I will not have turkey because I don't
Yes.
want to anymore, because it's not about can't or it's
Yes,
a
we can,
decision.
but we choose not
Yes.
to.
If I do not want to have turkey, that means I will not be able to have Christmas dinner with my family.
Well,
But
that's
now, thankfully,
But even if there wasn't, like, I remember there weren't these vegan options
Yes.
at that time, I wouldn't have mind meeting other people and just have a vegan option and still, be
Yes.
there. It's I used to hope to meet people for liking me, for me, not for the food I'm eating.
but in fairness, firstly, not every family accepts its members for the individuals that they are.
Yeah.
And that is a harsh reality of many families, and not everyone has the strength to stand up to their families.
Yeah. Actually, it wasn't my family. My family was my father never really cared for what I ate. My mom was like a bit worried about being a teenager, before menstruation kicks in. So is she gonna have enough iron, enough vitamins for her to grow to a woman?
Fair enough. If you're ignorant about
And
health,
back then, obviously,
fair.
1997, obviously, there weren't like a lot of educational stuff out there to explain veganism,
Yes.
etc. So, and I remember she went to our GP and he was like, "You are right. You are right. You have to stop this. Okay, she either has to eat fish or meat or she's not going to make it."
Yes, because of all the months of training this doctor had on nutrition, for sure.
And she was very worried. So that was the only issue that I had. But at least I was very lucky that they kind of supported my individuality.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Telling my parents I was going vegan, first vegetarian and then vegan, honestly felt like someone coming out of their closet. It's exactly the same. I wouldn't say the stigma's the same, because I don't think it is, but the experiences I've read,
It was a shock for them.
but their type of questions and their attitude. When I read about people coming out, and myself, for example, telling my parents I'm going vegan, it's the same reaction. It's like shock. He's not the
Disbelief.
same anymore. He's gonna die. It's like, how will you live? It's like, but what will you do? And then, because my mother cares, I have to say, obviously, is like, but what will I cook for you?
Well,
and I have to,
beans.
yes, beans. God help us without beans. But I'm a fan for beans.
Yes.
But I have to say, over the years, she's kept an open mind over the years, and
least.
she tells me, Isma, what can I do? And I tell her, and it's like, okay, cook this. and she very often cooks for herself something vegan,
Okay.
and then cooks a second portion so I can have as well. you
Okay,
know.
that's nice. That's nice.
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, my experience is when I still visit my parents, and when they ask me, "Did you eat something today?" I tell them, "Yes, I'm going to cook right now. After I go home," and they tell me, "You're eating vegetables, right?" For them, vegan. I am living on vegetables for them, but it's okay. I mean,
And again, it must be said, for us in Malta, especially, let's say, 40s onwards, vegetables, again, means lettuce and tomatoes. Because
No,
we have a lot of vegetables,
but
you know.
at least my parents, because we have, we grow our own
Yeah, your
vegetables
father is a farmer, so that's
yes.
beneficial,
So
you know?
we know that it's not only lettuce and tomato.
Yes,
We
yes,
have the
yes.
aubergine, we have the sweet potatoes, we have
Well, aubergine's a fruit.
whatever.
If it has seeds in it, it's a fruit.
But my father is a very good farmer, so we
Yes,
had
yes.
bananas, we had pineapples. I think once he got me mangoes.
And papaya, if I'm
Yes,
mistaken.
papaya. We have papayas right now. So we,
Yes.
for him, it's like, all right, she's eating vegetables, but I know she's eating a lot of
And
vegetables.
I'm sure as a farmer, he appreciates the fact that you're eating at least good, healthy food.
Yes, his
you know?
organic vegetables and
Yes,
fruit.
yes.
So
Definitely.
we're discussing about, dating, and shall we like share our experience of our first few days? As you pointing me and I pointing you.
Oh, so us, our first few days.
Of course.
Okay, no, I thought you were talking about first few days as vegans. No, definitely. I mean,
Well, let me say, let me tell you how was my first day
oh,
of
so
veganism.
1st January 97.
Actually, I was like seeing my mother cooking the rabbit because it was like
It's
New
very common
Year's
in Malta.
Eve, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day, whatever. And I was like smelling this rabbit, and obviously, it smells good.
Yes, the smell is
I'm
good.
gonna be honest, alright? It's the only meat I used to eat actually, because at the age of 8, I really started to dislike chicken
Mhm.
because it was like, I really like chickens, like not eating chickens,
live
but
a lot
they're
of it.
so cute.
There's so I had a chicken. I had sorry. I'll just say this. I had a chicken once. Her name was Sabrina.
Sabrina.
I used to work as a reenactor by a fortress, and there were quite a large fields. And one day I went to work, and somebody told me, "Hey, did you see that chicken running in the ditch?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, oh, good. I was already vegetarian by then, and I knew the way they were talking. They were planning on baking her chicken stew.
But chicken really run fast.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
But then, so I grabbed a friend of mine, and that night we went to the fortress and we got the chicken,
Okay.
And Sabrina, she ended up spending 4 years with us. She wasn't the typical egg-laying chicken for the industry, but she was for that reason.
Okay.
But chickens are amazing. They
Yes,
pair.
yes. Yes.
They sit on you and they sleep. Their
They purr like
necks
cats.
disappear and they just go like this. And they
So,
close
yeah.
their eyes and they purr
Yes,
like
yes.
cats.
So yes, that's. I think I used to eat just rabbit meat till I went vegan, and I remember that day I wanted to make that choice. My mother cooked my favorite meal, to
Mischief.
tempt me.
Yes.
But I was really. I wanted to do it, So there was no one who could stop me.
Yes.
So anyway, that was my first days of veganism. And I remember she used to put tuna into my mashed potato. So I made this another decision to learn to cook for myself,
Yes.
you know, and thank God for that, because
Yes. Well, thank God for that. You know, the world is a better place with you and your talent.
Yes,
you know?
yes, yes.
Because I also like rabbit stew, the taste of it.
Yes.
And I remember the first time you did vegan rabbit stew.
Yes, because it's doable to do a rabbit stew which is vegan, and yes, it smells exactly the same. To be honest, I never tasted my own creation because I'm scared to taste and connect that to the animal flesh. It's something personal. I don't like these vegan substitutes which resembles meat. Okay, it's only my decision, and I support everyone. Support Robert, who likes vegan meat substitutes and fish substitutes. It's okay, and at least I have someone who tastes my creations after all. And
Very happily to
yes.
do so.
So I did this vegan rabbit stew, and he was very, very scared. And I remember because obviously you're biased, and
Yes, yes. She doesn't. And when I tell her, like, this is amazing, my face doesn't lie. And she's like, but you're biased. It's like,
but I had one person who tasted the rabbit stew, and she wrote me a message and told me, "Are you sure this is vegan?"
yes, I remember you saying that.
Yes, because obviously she's not very close to me, so she doesn't know that I'm,
She doesn't know you that well, yes.
for
yes.
this, for all my life, obviously. And so I had to explain to her the ingredients and,
Yes.
so yeah.
Yes, yes. No, I remember tasting that plate. It was the first time I really was scared to eat your food.
Yes, but since we're doing this, this year I will taste my rabbit stew.
You should.
Yes,
You
because
should. Before
at
the
the
year
end
is
of
out.
Yes. Okay, so yes, that's my first few days of veganism, and we were saying our first
few days.
encounter.
So we've been together for the past 3 years almost now.
Yeah,
Yes, I am.
very scary.
It's how is it to actually, let's say, that what's the main difference between having a non-vegan partner and a vegan partner?
Okay, the difference is that obviously I was hoping back then, when I broke up, to find a vegan male for this time at least, and to try to see how the connection goes, and I hope for respect for my values. I hope, that he's empathic towards the animals, because my previous relationships, they weren't into animals. It was like, me telling them, oh, look, how cute is that chicken? And it was like, no.
Yes.
So I was there with the hope that this new partner was going to be a vegan for those reasons,
Yes.
to be more comfortable, that I don't have to restart and explain again the whys and the how, because it got tired after some
I
relationship.
think that's part of the worst part about being
Yes,
a vegan.
explaining why. Can't you get
You
it?
should hand out leaflets like every time. Why are you vegan? Read this. Get back to me in a few minutes.
Yes, definitely. So I was like trying to get out there more and socialize more with vegans, and I've met a few options, and the difference is that you don't have to explain yourself anymore, and that was a big relief
Yes,
for me.
Yes.
And yourself?
Well, I mean, I've never had the experience of a non-vegan partner since I've been vegan. I've spent a few months, let's say that, before you, and Yeah, let's just say I was at an all-time high in my stupidity rating, you know? I mean, men are always a bit stupid, let's face it, guys. We're always a bit stupid. But at that period of time, I was a ripe mess. So
You said it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You said
I will own it, you know?
Okay.
So I must admit, I didn't limit my search to just vegan partners.
Yes, and I remember you asking me.
See what I mean, guys?
Yes. It wasn't. We weren't dating as such. We just, happened to be in the same place. Let's say that.
Lucky me.
And he asked me, "Will you be dating, or are you open to date a non-vegan?" And I was like, "Let's say no, since there are options nowadays, And I asked him the same thing, and he was like, "Yes, I would."
Yeah, I mean, I must say I have a curious mind. I love learning, and I'm open. I'm a very person who's very open to new experiences. So at that time of my life, I was open to probably too many experiences. But yeah, I am so glad I didn't go down that road, and I'm extremely lucky to actually have not only again have a vegan partner, a vegan partner who's that fact that you're a nutritionist and you know so much about the food. That's something I really admire, really wanted. Because it's like, yeah, let's be honest, there's Google, but having your partner who knows everything about the food you're eating, it's amazing, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, today my belly isn't really well. And she's like, what did you have that? Okay, that's the problem. It's like, oh, okay, you try it, you remove it out of your food. It's like, oh, yeah, that's true. And actually, remember, I used to eat so much gluten.
Yes.
I was a
You were
gluten
always
guy.
in a coma.
Yeah, I
Gluten
remember.
coma.
It's like literally eating a meal. This is something that really frustrated me. You eat a meal, a yummy meal, and then you have to sleep.
So
It
you
was
see me
so
energetic, and you see yourself after eating a meal, and you did your maths, definitely.
Yes. And I remember. Do you remember when I stopped gluten?
Yes.
I
was a
transitioned. I'm a
trauma.
transitioner, so I transitioned out of gluten. But when I stopped gluten, I didn't change my exercise level or anything, and
You lost like 7
I
kilos.
lost 7 kilos
Yes,
just
it's
by
true.
removing gluten out of my life.
No, gluten is not your friend, definitely.
Beans are my friend. I wish beans were my friend, actually, because I really love beans, but beans then...
you have to decrease a bit, but he
party in my
overdose.
stomach, you know.
You overdose it.
I know.
Like-
All right, let's put it this way. If I can have beans every day, I'll have beans every
And
day.
even in breakfast.
Uh,
I mean, you can take them
Mela,
like breakfast
beans
snack,
all day.
lunch
Yogurt
snack,
for breakfast,
Yes.
tofu for the evening, and tofu for the afternoon, and maybe soy chunks or something like that for the evening.
Yes, you need to vary. You
Of
need
course,
to vary.
Of course.
There-
That's why kidney beans and
Kidney beans. Okay. Anyway, so I'm not saying that I was shocked at his answer. Definitely, no. I wasn't shocked. I was hoping for another one,
Yeah.
but
my guy, you know.
Yes, but I am supportive to people who are in a relationship with a non-vegan, definitely, as long as there's like communication, respect, empathy, and as it should.
Yeah, and
not only on veganism.
Yes, and I mean we know a few people who both
Yes.
partners are not vegan, just one of
Definitely.
them, and they have very good relationships
Yes,
for
yes.
what we know. And it's like at the end of the day, it's respect.
Definitely.
And this is something which has very much improved in my last 3 years, I have to say. And it's like the respect, then it will go for everything. I mean, if you're vegan, if you support the opposite football team or opposite party here in Malta, or you have a different view, because we're individuals, hopefully, and everyone has their own views, you can disagree and
be okay. Yeah.
You know?
But relevant if it's on this topic, veganism or not. Unfortunately, many relationships, and I've been into some of them, when you are different and you've got your individuality, you are treated like a criminal.
Yes, and that's actually not very far from the truth, because what are, psychologically speaking, socially psychologically speaking, what are criminals? They are outsiders.
Yes.
That's why it's not the best, but that's why we put them in jail, to separate them from the society. And they will forever, unfortunately, as things stands, they will forever be taught as outsiders, even after they spend their time. So when you identify yourself as a vegan, you are identifying yourself as someone who is not part of the mainstream. So yes, in many ways, it's similar to being a criminal, because it's like you're no longer a part of it, you're not one of us, you know.
But this was very easy for my being, because
Yes.
I always take decisions because I want to. So
Yes.
since
You're the captain of your own ship, let's put it that way.
yes, I was vegan, who hates festas, who hates politicians. You know, it's very different from the families I used to date their son, obviously, and the fact that I didn't go to mass meetings and all this stuff. Okay, I was already the blackest sheep ever. But so the veganism was like the cherry on the cake.
Yes, yes. I mean, for those who don't know Roberta, she's a very independent-minded person. That's awesome. For someone who's independent-minded like you are, I don't think it's as difficult for those who are not as independent-minded. I take it from me. I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I am independent-minded, but it's this has decreased over the last 3 years, definitely. But I'm very much influenced by my surroundings. This has decreased over the last 3 years, but when society affects you and you care what society thinks of you, even if we're not talking into anxiety level, but just care about the society you're in, that's one of the challenges of going vegan, because you're practically going against society, against the grain of society. And one thing that not many people understand is when you understand what goes on in the process of making your food. So we're talking meat, what goes on in meat, what goes on in eggs, and goes on everything else. You have to accept that they all lied.
Yeah.
Everybody lies. But with literally, knowingly or unknowingly, they all told you, oh, this will help you grow better. Take this to be strong. Oh, don't worry, nobody was hurt in this night. No, you learn all, and you have to accept that those people you trust most in your life, your mother, your father.
But I don't see it as lying, because let's take my parents. I don't think they know. They don't have the knowledge of.
They know that
My
a piece
father,
of
yes,
meat
because he's a
comes from
farmer.
cow.
Yes, but my mother, I don't think. I think she still believes that animals, the meat she buys, comes from supermarket, not from, you know.
That's called denial.
Yes, okay.
You know, and that is, again, you realize, because there's this quote from Freud that he said, no one can become a man until their father is dead. Then Jung said yes, but that death can happen spiritually. Symbolically, sorry, which basically means when you're young, your parents, at least for most of us who trusted their parents and had this, trusted the authority that their parents gave them. Your parents are sort of gods in your eyes. They can do no wrong. They know everything. Everything they know is right. You know, they're the symbol of right. And when you grow up, this starts reducing, and when you become an individual, especially in your teens, that's why you rebel. But when it comes to veganism, you have to accept a part of you that either they lied for whatever reason. could he be even to protect you, but still they lied, because most people know that meat comes from flesh. Flesh is an animal, and to kill an animal, well, ... Or that your parents just didn't know, and their knowledge is insufficient, and therefore they are unlike anybody else in life.
Yes.
You know, so it's such a major paradigm shift in your mind that it's not as simple as like, oh, I'm just gonna choose a different car today.
Let me add that many people choose the easy way out.
Yes, definitely.
You know, you keep on having the same cheese that your grandma and your mother used to buy because it reminds you of them, you know? And if you change, it's like you're betraying all the family.
Yes.
So that's very psychological.
I talked to an individual very recently who he's an avid political supporter for his political party.
Yes,
and he's the type of person who said, I will probably not vote, but I will never ever vote for the other side. And it intrigued me. I never got the chance to actually ask this question. I was like, why? And he told me, because I would be betraying my nana.
Who's dead, I think.
No, she's still alive. And I told him, even after she dies, because logically, but these are emotions, they're not logical.
Yeah.
And they told me, no, I will never. Okay, he's still young, he's 20-ish. But the thing is, it's this betrayal. And it's the same thing when it comes to food. Because also, accepting that this food that your family always gave you is unhealthy and in some aspects could be even killing you quite directly.
And it's animal cruelty at the end of the day.
Yes. And then again, it's same thing. You have to accept that your family doesn't care that they're cruel to animals. You know? And they know. And what's worse, when you, at least this was my experience and the experience of many people I knew, as like, when you point them out, because maybe they were so in denial that they just put it on the back burner. Hell, it happened to me. I spent 20 plus years in that mindset.
Yeah.
And when you point it out and they're like, and you tell them, guys, what you're eating is cruel. They go through hell and they just don't care. And that's hard. That's hard when you realize that the people who are up here in your mind, your father, your mother, your loved one, they just don't care. So it's not, it takes a lot of courage.
Yes, it's true.
You know,
that's true.
But it's worth it. It's
definitely. And well, all you need is to. Like, for example, my parents, I'm sure that when I, put reality, I used to put reality to them. They used to say, but what do you eat then if you stop eating meat? So it's lack of knowledge. And nowadays we're very, very much blessed to have the internet, books, whatever. News is all over, around us. So it's your fault if you don't have the knowledge nowadays.
Yes, today, our generation, our age is the only age in the world where you literally, if you don't know something, it's your fault. Because you can access anything for free these days.
Yes.
All you need is an internet connection, which in some places you can even get for free.
Yes. So about veganism and dating.
Yes,
okay?
I was going to ask you.
Yes, what?
Like, I mean, it's called V-Spot. We have to ask this question. Like, how's dating when it comes to, the difference under the sheets when it comes to veganism,
Oh, okay.
I mean, we saw in the Game Changers, for example,
it's true.
There's a big difference, pun intended, when it comes to plant-based foods and non-plant-based foods,
I'll come to that later, okay? Because I've got here the Game Changers in nutrition, and the Game Changers is free. You can watch it free online, okay? And it's very, very interesting if you're into nutrition, sports in general, and health, okay? So they had a part in this documentary
Yes.
where it was like talking about men
Yes.
and the aubergine. Okay. And well, let me talk like you caught me a bit like well, the stamina is better, you know. What else? What else? Like, it's more, you know. Can you help?
Yes, I mean, I'm just looking at you like. No, the thing is,
it's more fit, you know. It's more healthy.
it's not just for men, huh? It goes both ways. There is a difference between non-vegan and
Unfortunately,
vegan,
they
even
didn't
women.
say in the Game
Because
Changer.
let's be honest, even I think the Game Changers Game Changers is definitely more sports oriented.
Yeah.
So there is an inherent bias towards men since you're talking about sports, unfortunately.
But thanks to this documentary, many men went vegan.
Yes, yes.
So-
And I think that's what sold. I don't think it's the sports thing. I don't think it's the muscles. Yes, that helps for some people. But seeing pro level athletes getting tested and, well, let's
Can you
just
explain
say.
what tests they did?
Well, basically, they put a ring on it.
Actually, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a virility test. I mean, men have a part-time job of carpenters when they're asleep. You know,
I'm confused.
morning wood.
Okay.
You know, men through. Let's talk a bit of biology here. When you're asleep, in the cycle of REM and the other types of sleep, men. Well, wake up whilst they're asleep. Let's put it that way. It happens every hour or so, I think.
Yes. At least something wakes up.
Yeah, I'm a deep sleeper. What can I say? But the thing is, they literally put a ring on it, and they would measure automatically, of course, the girth, the width of their aubergines at night, and
I'm saying I'm in the wrong job. That would be interesting to test.
yeah, I'm sure it would. And basically, they gave these three people, these three top level athletes,
Vegan food.
plant-based food, yeah, vegan food, and the other two got chicken and fish, I think,
Beef, I
or
think.
beef, whatever.
Yeah, beef.
And in this test, so they also did a control test as well, and the one who took the vegan food had much.
The best results.
Yes, let's put it that way.
Okay,
You know?
let's put it like
A
that.
woman's touch is always good.
Yes.
And it's okay. This was on 3 people, but this was based on other studies, proper studies that were conducted. And it's basically, I mean, you're the expert in this field with nutrition. Like, why would
I don't understand.
yes, why would men's microphones be better when they're having plant-based food?
Obviously, it's down to their cleaner arteries, and obviously there's more blood pumping into those arteries and capillaries, you know. So
Yes.
that's why the results.
And it must be said, we have to say this, there's vegan food and there's vegan food.
Yes,
you know?
I'm talking about whole food,
food.
plant-based. But still, actually, the documentary, they gave them, I think,
Was it taco thingy?
yes, a taco or a wrap, whatever, with pieces of meat substitute.
Yes.
So it wasn't entirely whole foods. But when a man goes from a really high junk, traditional diet to vegan food, even if it's processed, there's also a big difference.
Yes.
But the biggest difference is when a man chooses whole food plant-based over the junk food, and that's definitely a wow.
Yes.
Right? More stamina. You know,
Yes, there's an over.
I need help here.
Yes. I mean, it's also the
you don't get tired immediately. You know what I'm trying to say?
And even the results are better, not just the blood that pumps that is better, let's just put it that. And it's not just, obviously, I'm talking about both genders. I mean, you're talking about men, I'm talking about women. But yeah, overwhelmingly, because your body is cleaner. And I mean, it's a stereotype with guys. You take pineapple before you go to Pacheville,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, at least my generation, there was this, I remember there was this joke that used to go around, and before we went to Pacheville is, for those who don't know, seeing us from abroad, is Malta's nightlife zone-ish, for especially the newbies. And it's like, remember to take a pineapple juice all day, or like, oh, today I got my vodka with pineapple rather with orange.
Oh, that's why they told me that.
Of course, that's why they tell you that.
And I was saying to myself, why vodka with pineapple? It's so sweet. Why?
Mela, let me put it this way, and let's be straight for a minute. Yeah, pun intended. Cigarettes make your cum taste horrible. Okay. Pineapple doesn't. Let's just put it that way. It has the opposite effect. Same with onions.
What about onions?
At least according to what I read, it makes men's cum worse.
Okay.
Because toxins and
Yes,
stuff like
it's
garlic,
true,
same
it's true.
thing.
It's high in FODMAP, so certain sugars make that taste.
And it's the same for women, huh?
Yeah.
What makes men's cum better makes women's liquids better. Let's just put it that way, And yeah, that's why they used to tell you, oh, I had my vodka with pineapple today.
And that's why they told me I didn't eat onion and garlic then. Oh, I was so innocent.
Lady, I didn't eat onion and garlic today, and my vodka is with pineapple.
Now I know it.
The more you know,
Okay.
But yes, I mean, also with cleaner, I mean, your hydraulics work better,
Yes, and they do.
Yes.
So even if I'm going to make this statement for the women, if you're a non-vegan and you just broke up, go on a vegan Malta, group and, pinpoint some man. So, and try,
Yes.
and try him out.
And we need more guys in our camp,
But let me be clear. There are options.
But the thing is, in this aspect, men are more lucky than the ladies.
Yes, you have more variety.
Both in our group, on our members, and we also talk to other groups, and it's the same across the board. There's 3 women for every guy that's vegan,
Okay.
And it's the same with environmental movements, and it's also the same with, for example, let's say pet animal loving movements.
Okay.
So if it's a movement, a group of dog and cat lovers, there's at least 3 women for every man.
Okay.
It's probably down to a lot of psychology when it comes to how men are raised. So yeah, men, we're more lucky. We have a wider variety.
I think that's why my father is happy now, because I think so, because at least he says she found a vegan guy. There's
who likes
hope.
Carrots.
There's hope. There's no hope for kids, definitely. By now he got it.
No.
But more animals, baby animals for sure.
And you mentioned kids. I think I might be wrong on this. Maybe you can clarify.
Yeah.
Men have better swimmers with
yes,
plant-based.
even in the Game Changers, there were like these results about yes, they swim faster it seems.
Yes, because I mean, if they're powered with better fuel, because literally every swimmer has a set amount of battery life. Let's put it
Mind
this
you,
way.
obviously these guys were non-smokers.
Of
and
course, of course, of course.
Staying away from alcohol. I mean, it's a holistic thing. It's useless having a really, really good diet than you're smoking like
Like a chimney.
Yes, like chimneys. So, yes, so it's better in my experience, definitely.
I have to say that as well.
Yes.
No, it's true. Remember, I transitioned. I
Yes,
haven't
yes.
been vegan since birth, and
true.
I haven't only been with vegan women. So like, there was a transition period. You know?
Yes, it's true, it's true. So, yes, what else? What else? Do you want to add anything?
Well, yes, I think it's not about really relationships. What's the worst thing about being vegan?
Such a strange thing to think about.
I mean, everything
actually.
has a flip side or something which you don't like about it. Let me say mine.
I'm so confused.
Let me say
'Cause
mine.
I don't see anything bad about being vegan or going
Not
vegan.
necessarily bad about veganism,
Alright.
but bad about the everyday experience of being vegan.
I don't think I have anything to say about this, to be honest.
Let me say mine, because I definitely have something which I really dislike.
I'm so excited about anything vegan.
Yeah, but having to explain it for everyone.
Yes, and that's why I wanted a vegan guy, so I don't repeat the same thing over and over again. But yes, but hopefully that was the last thing.
Yes, yeah, it's improved. It's definitely improved over the years.
I mean, even the non-vegan people I meet every day, they respect me and they are so excited to know about plant-based nutrition. And I share the recipes, I share the knowledge, and I'm blessed to have like this opportunity to really share all my knowledge with people, and they are excited about it. So for me, there's nothing wrong about being vegan or going vegan. Let's hope more vegan people transition to more people transition to veganism.
Yes,
That's the only thing that I hope, especially in Malta. Just move it.
Yes, and on other episodes we'll be focusing on also the main pillars.
Yes,
So when
which
it comes
are
to
environmental,
Yes.
health, and
ethics,
even,
of course,
and ethics.
and
yes.
actually there's a fourth one which has emerged since this COVID mess, which is they haven't the name hasn't really solidified or stabilized, let's say that, but like diseases,
Okay.
because of most like COVID emerged, at least on the official reports, has emerged from the wet markets, the meat markets.
Yes, yes.
SARS came from the jumping from I don't forget which animal to humans, and all these major diseases, and that since in factory farms you have all this perfect cesspool of diseases which can then jump to humans, and then the antibiotics which are being overused.
Yes,
So
antibiotic
there
resistance.
is actually, since COVID, there's a new pillar which is coming up to help prevent the next pandemic.
Yes, let's hope. Yes, I remember that phrase. Let's avoid the next pandemic. It was said by Dr. Michael Greger. Yes,
Oh,
he has
Dr.
a
Greger, I
great
love Dr. Greger.
podcast. I think it was with Rich Roll.
I think so. Yes.
Yes.
It was the tall hair glass guy.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Rich Roll, yes.
And they spoke about because he's an expert on viruses, Dr. Greger
Yes, he's
too.
he's expert virologist.
Yes. So they have a great podcast about how to manage to avoid the next pandemic. Let's hope.
Yes.
And that's all for today. Let's
Yes.
close it here.
Definitely.
We'll catch you the next time with another subject, I guess.
Yes, yes. And for all of you there, make sure you don't forget about the V spot.
Yes.
See you next time.